Why is he fighting Iraq?
Wouldn't have a clue.
Wouldn't have a clue.
Not the sort of man I'd really want to talk to.
Why did he abandon socialism?
I don't know about those tricks in the books. All I know is to praise God and live, yeah?
Okay, cool.
Why is he going to fight Iraq?
Okay.
Sorry, we don't speak English.
Okay.
What is happening with all the law and order situation that's going on? There's a complete breakdown of that. He's cocooned in his tin Downing Street and checkers, and his money's coming in. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
About the war in Iraq.
And what about the war in Iraq?
But don't proceed with the war.
If Tony Blair drags us into this war,
Yeah.
is he prepared to let his sons go and fight? And is he prepared to actually, I'm trying to say is about, this is a very diverse community in England, and is he prepared to put up with that amount of tension and that amount of hatred that it's going to cause?
Probably is this whole Iraq thing a PR stunt.
Why are you joining Bush to attack Iraq?
And why do you want to be a president instead of a prime minister?
Why they want to attack Iraq?
Oh, you caught me on the hop there. Why is he getting involved with this Sudan business?
Are we going to war with Iraq, I suppose?
Let's all be at peace and bomb nobody.
What's he doing?
What do you mean, what's he doing?
What's he doing?
Why is he going backing up the Americans? You know, everybody else is against it.
Yeah.
And he's got to prove it. He's just a poodle at the moment.
Why do my taxis keep going up?
When's he going to resign?
Oh, it'd be why are we bothering with Iraq?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
How often does he shag his wife?
I ain't got a clue.
What do you think you're doing?
When's he going to do something about the workers?
Don't know.
God blimey, God knows.
I don't know.
Where is the evidence?
Leave Saddam Hussein alone.
His real views on the asylum seekers issue.
I have a comment for Tony Blair. I commend him for supporting our president, George Bush.
When is he going to put out his dossier about the war on terrorism, you know, and Saddam Hussein?
Okay.
He's promised to put out a dossier. I'd like to know when it's going to appear.
Will there be a war in the Gulf?
Why don't they call you Anthony?
Oh, it would have to be a double question.
Okay.
A, why he's not holding a referendum on Europe, and B, why he's going to war without asking his people.
Why do you want to go to war with Iraq?
Yeah.
Why do you want to go to war? Why is it necessary?
It's got to be topical, isn't it? So I would have thought it's relating to possible war.
So what would the question be?
Get sanctions from the UN.
Okay, all right. Would you like to comment?
I'd agree with that. I think all the activity is what's happening in getting ready to have a go at Saddam, and I think we've got to make certain that Bush and Blair get UN sanction resolution before they go in. Otherwise, we're going to have a disaster on our hands.
We're thinking about these things very deeply.
That's what I'd tell him to do, get his act together.
And what do you mean by getting his act together?
Well, I think he just dilly-dallies all the time.
Okay.
No, it's terrible, because we've gone through a war, our age group, and we've gone through a war, and of course no one wants to go. No one wants to go through another war. But the thing is, if Iraq is sheltering terrorists, if Iraq starts throwing things, it's gonna affect the whole world. So I think the Arabs should govern him, really, but they're not doing it. It's just terrible decisions to make, isn't it?
And perhaps he should stay here and sort things out rather than being all over the world.
Right, okay.
Why should he believe in Bush?
Just one. That narrows it down. I'd ask him why he's so positive that we have to go to war in Iraq, really, I suppose. If we do, then please release the information and I'll be the first one supporting him.
That kind of thing. I think it's just how on earth he thinks he can really seriously deal with the threats and problems that we've got at the moment without upsetting a lot of other countries and a lot of other people in the process.
Oh, you put me right on the spot.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about student loans and the growing debt that students are leaving university with?
Why he has the allegiance that he has to the United States when it comes to joining together as an ally.
I guess the question would be, are we going to be able to move forward together in terms of what we do in the Middle East?
That's a tough one. Putting me right in the spot there. Yeah. Why doesn't he cut the price of fuel? Help the truck drivers out.
Why aren't you doing more about the threat from Islamic terrorism on the home front?
Keep your nose out of everything, I suppose.
Sorry?
Keep your nose out of everything.
From about today?
Whatever you like. You have that opportunity of asking that one question.
About the Iraq war.
That's what you want to ask?
Yeah.
So it would be about the Iraq war?
Yeah.
So what would your question be?
Whether he should be attacked or not.
What would that question be? That's a difficult one. To keep up the good work, I suppose, and do what needs to be done, really.
Are you really sure it's wise to go head-to-head with Saddam Hussein?
What's going to be done? That would be a first one.
About what?
About the whole event, really. I mean, about everything. Like the point that everyone here today, when you talk to people, they're like, are we going to be next? Are we going to be the next victims? Blah, blah, blah. What's going to be done about that?
We don't want war.
Okay, why isn't he fighting the war in poverty as opposed to going into Iraq?
Why now? Why choose to go in with America? And you know, at this time of year, to attack Iraq, with all these jets, it's a pretty strange time of year to do it, if you know what I mean. And with the events of last year, it just seems a bit odd that he choose. It's not actually his choice, but he's following a bit, with Bush and his choices.
Really consider going to war with Iraq. Please, can you consider that?
When we're going to enter the European common currency?
I would possibly ask him about the way forward after the 11th September commemoration. We would wish to see what will come next.
Okay.
Then the steps taken, way forward.
How he got along with George Bush and how he agrees with him or not agrees with him. Really and truly.
Yeah, sure.
Really and truly.
Okay.
And when is he going to show proof?
What would that question be?
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
How will he cope with an attack on Iraq if he doesn't get any parliamentary support?
What make him, apart from the other European leaders, what make him, follow Mr. Bush like being his #1 ally?
All right then.
I don't really know, mate.
Don't know.
I wouldn't entertain a bloke by asking him stupid questions because he doesn't give answers, does he?
What's he doing about Iraq? And shouldn't he probably have a referendum and find out if we want to go to war or not?
Well, I'd probably ask him not to go to war just like that. I mean, Iraq.
Okay.
I mean, not to attack Iraq as it is,
yep.
Without going to the parliament and getting more evidence to people. So people can agree, and then he can go ahead with it.
Brilliant.
As it is, a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't.
How's he really feeling about the decisions he's making at the moment?
When's he going to let the Conservatives back in? What's he doing about the economy? Why is it all falling down? Everyone's buying things.
Probably why he's up pussy's arse so much.
Well, I would want to tell him something.
Okay, well, you have this opportunity. Tell him.
Tell him not to invade Iraq.
Why are you prepared to murder thousands and thousands of Iraqi men, women and children? That's what he wants to do.
With what's going on, I suppose, you haven't made a convincing case for your proposed action against Iraq.
Why there are so many homeless?
Why are you even considering joining George Bush in the war? You shouldn't be considering it. I don't think you should do it.
Is there going to be a war?
Are you a poodle?
Tony Blair, please get a life. Don't you have anything better to do? Go and fix your economy and stop bugging other people's country.
Why is going to attack the Iraq?
Okay.
Muslim, Hindu, all the people are human beings. So they should not do that one.
Ask him why he wants to go to war against Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, sorry, we don't comment on street.
Are you aware of the term double standards? Which is the obvious question.
And define that for me.
Plain and simple, you're trying to live in a democracy and try and promote a democratic process, whereby, but at the same time, you're the one who's trying to create the status quo. So how the hell do you do that? So you're telling me other people aren't allowed to have an opinion to a certain extent in his own party. And number two, you're going after an enemy which that a large extent you created. But let's just be honest, you don't have voters in Iraq. Your voters are here. Your duty is to the United Kingdom, primarily. Iraq, as much as it's relatively close by, won't be sending you missiles straight away, number one. Number two, you've got the problems of the people which you have to look at, and they're the ones going to put you in the office.
Why his party is divided and not behind him and supporting him to go and attack Iraq.
Can't you get a real job?
I guess I'd ask him if he was sure. If he was sure of the facts, and you know, that way, you know, fair enough, I'd agree with him. If he's right, then go ahead. But if not, then don't risk it.
The question is, why follow America in their politics? Why continue to support a war that it seems a lot of the country doesn't really support?
One question. Sorry, I can't actually think of anything I would want to ask the man at all, I'm afraid.
Does he think he has enough evidence to start a war?
Is the war going ahead with Iraq, Saddam Hussein? Will they strike soon? Because I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
I don't know a lot about politics, but I would say, you know, why is he going to war, and why is he being tainted by Bush's, you know, like influence? Okay. And it's all to do with arms, isn't it?
Why did he renege on his promise to help the homeless?
He is pandering to Bush, and why we are the only country in the world that seems to be following America at the moment.
What colour underpants are you wearing?
Why are you with America? Why are you siding America on every issue? Don't you have a say over your own?
Oh God, I don't know. I'd ask him why he feels the need that we have to go to war with America, because I don't want to be bombed, really. Brilliant. That's what I've been thinking. I'd probably ask him why we have to go to war with America. I know that we lost a lot of people a year ago today, but I really don't think war's the answer. But you know, that's my personal view.
What is it they've got about the Iraqi situation? You know, the documents.
I would say, Blair, you know what? You cool and stuff, and I like the idea you want to be Prime Minister and all of that. I even like the thing that you and Bush is doing, you know what I mean, friends and all that. But why is it, yeah, you want to go and fight war, yeah, and go and make sure that everything on other people's country is alright when things is so bad right here?
To ease the pressure off the poor, mostly.
Do you really trust Bush?
Where does he get his hair cut?
Why can't he get the rest of Europe behind the United States, for crying out loud? We're going to be responsible for our children. If you can't take action before somebody takes it against you, we'll have World War II and Hitler all over again. So Tony, why can't you get the rest of the country behind us?
I think it's very, for Englishman, Tony Blair's opinion is very dangerous, because the Muslim or Iraq people will dislike Tony Blair's opinion, and it will threat the England people.
That's really hard. I don't know, what question would you ask him?
Absolutely no idea.
When's the war starting?
Are you going to bomb Iraq?
No, I don't really know him.
You don't really know him. Whereabouts are you from?
Australia.
From Australia. I might like to ask him.
I don't know whether he's going to attack
Iraq.
Iraq, yeah.
Why he's not... I don't know, there's a lot of gabble going on about what's happening in the world and terrorism there. He seems to be off gallivanting around the world, being a courageous sort of lionheart, but I don't think he's concentrating too much about issues back home in Britain. I think he's concentrating on good effort across the globe.
We live in a democracy, and that perhaps he should get people's opinions before he makes decisions.
Does he have all the evidence on Iraq, and if he does, why doesn't he share it with the public a bit more than he did with Osama bin Laden? I'm all for him going for it, but I think the public needs a little bit more information.
Why is he in bed with the master of corruption?